against Florida? They seem to get a lot better.
You know, all down through the years, I've used to watch Boise State on film, or as a spectator, and I would say, man, that is really one of the better offenses I've ever seen. You know, just I'm talking execution, diversity, razzle-dazzle, execution. Well, that's not what it is. It's Boise State offense with really fast players, and they're doing a better job each and every week of getting better. With Brent Peace running the show down there now, and they're doing a good job. So they offer up a lot of weapons, a lot of challenges, but we got a lot of work to do between now and the time we get on the plane, get ready to go down there and play the SEC game.
Rick, they're really running the ball. They get the leading rusher in the SEC. You've struggled some against the run.
Yep.
What do you need to do to get better against the run?
Well, we got to keep practicing. You know, we got to hold our edges when it's time to hold the edges, and take our proper gaps when it's time to. They have a lot of different kinds of ways to run the ball, which is challenging. They run right up the middle, which is, you know, they run the power running game, much like Western Kentucky did. And that's a sign of a physical team, and they try to do those kind of things. So they also run a lot of jet sweep mentality plays where they're coming from the outside with their wide receivers and their hybrid athletes, those types of things. So they have a lot of ways to attack you in the rushing game, and they're getting production, even from a Wildcat quarterback who took one for 80 last week against a solid defensive team in Tennessee. So they're very diverse, much more so than what I've remembered in the past. So the challenges are great, but we got to get out there and see what we can do.
Has Dakota Tyler made a charge here these last couple of weeks? And what are you seeing?
I think Dakota's getting better each and every week. I hope to see his play production and number of plays increase each and every game, and we look forward to getting him on the field. He is in our sub packages already right now. Like seeing him get more playing time on a regular down basis.
With the diversity they have, do you have to go back more toward your base, or do you have to get more sophisticated?
Well, we don't have much more than our base in terms of personnel. Now, what we do, if I told you what we was going to do, I'd have to kill you. But
all right.
But no, anyway, you know, we have a mix of 3-down, 4-down schemes within our package, as we always do. But we're playing now with Taylor Wyndham, you know, at that rush backer. Bud Dupree at the inside linebacker, and then we go back and forth a few times when one of them needs a blow one way or the other. So we're just trying to get our best 11 out there. We need to do what those guys can best do, and we got to get better stopping the run, there's no doubt.
Thomas Chapman was a guy that was on the depth chart for the first time this week. Is he starting to make a push for
it just depends. You know, right now there's been some discussions about utilizing him, but I don't know if that's been a total determination just yet. You want to be fair to the kid and fair to our program at the same time. You know, if we need a guy, then we need to play him. But if we could get by without guy, you know, without using up a kid, you know, just for a few plays here and there, then certainly be more fair to him not to do that. But perhaps that'll be more announced later on. I'm not hiding the answer. I don't know the answer right now. There was talk about him getting more involved with us, but it's centered on another issue. We've had a few guys banged up and that sort of thing, so we'll see how our health comes out by the end of the week.
Was Taylor adjusted to having to pick up guys out of the backfield and coverage?
I'll tell you what, he came within a near miss of winning the game for us the other day, you know, covering a little flare route out of the backfield where he almost picked the thing. I guess if he had a little different vertical, you know. But that was a heck of a play. No, you know, he's a good enough player for us to play that hybrid position, yet he's more a traditional 4-3 defensive end. We've always known that all along. But right now he's doing a great job of doing a lot of dual roles of that job, of that, you know, that particular position that we call the rush backer. And it's allowed Bud to go in and play the will linebacker. So Taylor's done a nice job.
How did they practice today coming out with that loss?
Tuesdays are always much different than Wednesdays because today's the first day we've seen them since Sunday. All we do on Sunday is watch the film, correct the errors and all those sorts of things. We didn't even go out because Rock takes them and, you know, exercises them and, you know, lifts them and runs them and all that kind of stuff. So we're always a little sluggish on playing time, that, you know, just playing reps on Tuesday, and then you have the mental saturation going in when you introduce things for the very first time. So tomorrow's practice will always be better than today's practice in terms of just, you know, a little bounce and a little more secure and all that sort of thing.
But did you see any effects from Saturday?
No. I think
was it pretty much a
no. I think our
Tuesday?
guys, like most, I think coaches, you know, drool over the past more than players. You know what I mean? I think probably by midnight the players are moving on. You know, and that's what we try to encourage them to do. You want them to hurt when you lose because you invest everything you have in the game. But by the same token, the sun comes up the next day. You got to be able to put it behind you and move on, get ready for the next week.
What do you do to turn people over more?
Well, we're trying to strip the ball more. We try to play the ball in the air more. We just haven't really come that close. One thing you got to realize, we had a chance to pick a ball off right toward the end of the regulation. You'd like to have seen that when snared out of the field or out of the air. We haven't given up very many X plays in the past. Most of them have been short control passing game. Now that's a lot of reasons why, but particularly when people can run the ball on you, we're not making them throw the ball downfield. And fortunately, we haven't let too many over our head or anything like that. But we got to stop the run better to make them want to throw better, and then that'll put more balls in the air. That gives us, it's kind of a chicken and an egg deal. But they're throwing a lot of short passes. Other than the first play of the game the other night that was 29 yards, I believe, something like that, we didn't let a pass go 13 or 14 yards, but that was their style. They were a controlled passing game. The one tip we got was, the interception we got was a tip. That happens occasionally, but just hadn't really had a whole lot of opportunities, to be honest with you. And we'd like to have a few more, and then try to make them. But really hasn't been that close on some of them.
What happened on those 2 untouched 1-yard run touchdowns for Andrew last week?
Very poor defense. Very poor defense. One of them was what we call a gap 8 defense, right on the 1-inch line. So you want to try to get everybody down in the line and make sure they can't just go straight ahead, make them have to go outside the off tack on this. So that's my fault for putting them in that alignment right there. But I was embarrassed by our defense on the goal line. I thought there were some improvements over the big course of the game. I don't look at total yards, even though it wasn't pretty, but I look at yards per. And we were about 3.2. Whenever you allow somebody to run the ball 51 times on you, and you just don't go on total yards and say you stink because you give up 160 yards. That's pretty good if they rush for about 12 times. But if they rush 51 times for 3.2, they're not just beating you up and down the field right there. So there was some improvement in the run game, not on those 2 plays, obviously, but there were too many just kind of a 3, 4, 5 yard ugly runs up inside. We're just not getting off blocks and striking and knocking guys back and making it 2nd and 9 rather than 2nd and 5. And that's where we got to get a little bit better. Part of it's just physical, part of it's our youth on the inside, and we got to shake our guys up some inside sometimes.
How do you get more physical? What do you do to fix that?
Send them to rock.